like a spring that is quite revenue still putting as managing collective all the way to large type of flow. And there are that is right some of the distribution of serenity to them to get from and because they are not be able to that take advantage and supply to them something right and that's type of to like a skill. It might get up later on why this is so that that's skill in terms of that area is not failing and being later on getting captured by and like it and then like that to carry on with the game and that situation I'm going to bring that they've been manipulating that situation to lack to like the feeling of that balance was want to lack table on that like to the to get also in some of the that game is feeling that fear which is for fear within like that and that putting in that like that giving to like to bad and like that and that one I'm looking for like a to that to guide to that from head on to that itself and join up the black some balls and like some lie and for them like our table will be having a great extent of that and then right now that looking saying and then now like the rest maybe might be organized like getting and that's when we'll be focusing on that stuff. Yeah, I'm looking at that one laptop painting was like listening to that to like one of them and at that point of need of like having that we might have more left out to land or like might have left from like the place might be like the security community so suddenly I'm looking for at that point that once that about would be then upon the budget and be like getting less done from like it and other different that deciding on like joining meeting after like a common point at the business roles and at that point no problem the man of like I'm going to for that main celebration and like of army along with that career like a actually like state like them or actually heading off to that again planning. Along the way, although the brain for lecturing like being an famous and manner like maybe that or hopefully things that is that statement and and like the army would all be getting into that serious trouble for like using the real that is so that they don't repeatedly clear exams to like really the before they make it to that again landing or else they'll be getting into the trouble by the like siblings to be along the line that they're on now confidence man of luck, which is the same kind of like the formula when they do can they have luck of that point would be letting on the hope in an exchange thing about work and hopefully if I exchange it around for luck exchanging around that they'll be able to like save their family at that time that their family idea around the next like hope yeah, even while they'll be setting up to the sitting and I think that they get as well as will be having need of the so that I'm probably going to be a disappointment. So that scope of that data and so I'm going to something clear disappointment suitably for like the on graduate who is only wishing for like a bad exam or something like and the beyond it will be a for how and also luckily I was good interested before like around by now my regardless of working about like the on like the half having some job or stuff with my so that way the only thing in that might I don't think the thing for going to another career might be most likely that the fear of that is of that paper as well as that and as well as that for the I mean like getting into serious trouble for like capturing career so the lines of like an some man of like don't think and then the work might be especially when it's so that one flat setting and of the movie going during a period against any other attending for that exchange like at that point I'm pretty funny straight away like some of the next show we will be finding out that like that actually on like second marriage at that point because on top of the point that Kim job free like straight away giving that absolute deciding to get to that absolute preventing that all the way following that the lab is still take for the serving into jumping planning to conventional parabola. So that and some sort of my cost to be wrong executed personalized some sort of my cost to be to come back to the suffering. Exactly my direction. So like at that point of the simultaneously for that surface as well as like they some of like getting up and maybe by the that to use perfection that is not that might simultaneously of the gaming as well as like period of the month of testing and location. So like at that point, I'm going to find for like a shop the same time to separate up to that white that is such an order and at that point I'm going to continue even groceries to that. He's only revealing to that sort of about that to them. And like the boss having such groceries, that's the liver of the good. So like at that point, straight away, I'm delivering for like such getting her feelings and raised at like the and maybe I'm also putting black poster in that poster or black maybe black operate my editing the or just carry on to that just carry on into some kind of date and then begin planning for the ending but like maybe it's something like change that over block at that point of the to straight away then carry on to that again more like a great to another person like even more like greater song to that carry on to yeah, that condition was a thing for that thought straight away going to that command finish like so getting for that battle against that to burn down like against that army, but like that command of that not the dot for change of it and so it to the right there and understand that point is like now it's like so at that point even Gatlin and the Lambron getting ready for like the battle, but at that point they're going to define for like heading lab asking about that is the about actually with that demo that taking that with that family when that taking that with that head up with now so that turns up and so that idea when the person so but the other different idea to still see in the print but like it's a feel like that idea from is the ideas will push that also but so they announced the line on different so that so they care sadly about the safety of the family to be along the lines and bring the trophy in a castle zone that they need when I'm asking to so and get them photo straight away giving up their plans to that technology planning is that to the scenario that about the point at that point so some different from that of as well as that getting starting to then play to then proceed to learn to reduce the gun and the family to get on balance and project and let them play in school and something. So like at that point, I'm the difference in between the skill and the man are lagging in front of that thing, don't we that something that carrying giving them the more to that about as well as that carrying to that but to need and bow down along that thing don't we that's not example. So that I'm looking at that point that for like put my Theon getting hands to the grade and like Theon lad straight away shouting out to lad that lad that like they should do it then they have to like rather than putting down lad the things like to get out the next like they only be shouting out to that but like the name to connect as well as like they will the only thing that might be like the safety of that man so but never to conduct as well as that is getting as power immediate and power now in front of that something and to job that not going to break. So that at that point I'm going to bring for that so to most likely heading long for that way to go that should really that stand up and the family that condition that for so clearly to that the Islamic army and at the same time like I'm looking for like the army of like like as like I'm looking that situation like having no other option but to go to that showing up to like the Islamic army. So like end up like table CLC to like the Islamic army and the second condition might be to like at least for for them to like have sons are married change over the name of them. So if never to bring Gavin as well as like is supposed to like agree to that these two and of that the and the Philippines to be the massive internet problem from that point of the government should be like that the limiting for like the complete connect the gap of that field schedule and in that from that point on like more caring about that of like gadget or like the adapt to fixing your problem to make more conditions so different to happen exactly after like the to be trading so the people that can be trade so that something they need to be that and that means profit so that at that point let's be deciding on like having for that they can see effect and printing so that should take everything where that they want to so that at that point of the different you want to be frustrated to that is the way that kind of packaging from office. So in order to do that, like I put that beyond that Friday trying to that face that as well as in the follow so that the movement to the right now from that trying to that still not be able to that team to that agreement to that about doing that stay at that level of like the that of the like near the that even the one black point among the and that obviously and wearing still to that second taking down the lab. At that point, I'm not showing that the once that the surveillance would be bring that news to that so that that once that brand is finding out about that updated to this that one segment of the that brand straight away like straight away did all of the selection to help them help them to the blackboard and this new brand straight away like the and basically straight away the payment to elect the ball. Forget that it's not that and was like the news might put to them mention that they want to plan like brand might have definitely that the debate might use it that maybe might use that like brand might have more about of this black line right now or after like the ball might be that actually the debate definitely to them. So like what might have maybe happened might have been like one that brand might have they get back to like one to like after like the ball usually want to expand the plan to get back to network work and might have taken back like straight away might have put had like memory of them but like the hot thing when one goes of that you might have been like conversation about like the second had them that go to like turn down plan or might have been like the in like the might have been like the case that we might have been so definitely at that point that definitely plan might have group inside to that group was trying might have inspired that part of just kind of came up with that pandemic that we have and with the more reflection of things like found memory and basically that way impose that basically that spicy might use it safe from like the landscape might along the lines that might have been maybe try to look right for and that's fine. I do that that necessity especially like a model. So definitely going to have to remember that the moment parents will be finding out about like going by the families of that family scenario of that like really to check in the reader. At that point the next straight away parents only feeling responsive at that the finance that we parents straight away direct to that set of the that's the wall and basically the for the next node attach the wall located and basically to take to that and from the filtering for that brand that not even help us that help us that is spoken help us to select where the brand said what to brand you only help that the help by local that brand from memory loss and that brand to contain the development designer so and so that is different that way like every direction brand that way brand taking on like support and basically heading up to like the wall that saying this now it's better about the brand that we are putting by then also different brand in like the absence of that about that brand will now impact us a lot with like the while here for my job a lot about like the person at like course will like the lot might be less the case with new trend. So technically for at that point it will just be heading off to like the board would be needing multiple things for that brand for that in being able to like we realize that selected network of known about which like brand or base like about as select as well as like incorporating with the pixel like the bond of it and that way to use the national workforce itself that's also available so it's not both or not. So that the thing is pretty much the question as well that with the terms like so depending for to be almost equal for them to that lifestyle and the that that's the right work technique of the average. So that white workers might even aware that hence might white workers education is waiting for lessons of the some uh for like then the white worker to the exam of the next so then like the white worker might be expanding their farming likely through that or of that and through the thing that like the form source to that the wall like the white workers might be calculating the print them out and then positive them and controlling book and turning them into that path doing the path of that having the path of that the white worker and that way, like it might be a preparation for like when the bad like the white focus as well. It might be that it just might be that kind of application that will not be there. So that name framework which comes like a different that white focus that process that the white probably that's the wall and I'm going to at that point that the majority almost that the advantage of that army attack the wall that being brought out. The number of different that for that city fiercely fighting against that the white water. Until eventually I'm going to find the majority of that army and like the wall getting brought out and I'm going to find that even before that I'm going to find for that while the white water army will be infiltrating into that the wall attack once if I'm going to find for that Sam to be getting together so basically that is that basically the values that point of that they would focus on escaping to like the south away from that window to be able to that escape from like the white water now and basically then slightly underestimated army to bring down that one was jadi dalam beragam macam dasar mungkin saya tidak ada no but like no thing as to they don't use to like the words of France like really scenario that of the I think it's really actually the of that the one that will brought down by the white and at that point I don't think that snow being close to that for the rating and this need that way along with that Sam unloaded like even by the writing also like pointed at it a lot Sam still usually about to get captured by that writing but like at that last second I'm going to bring that snow killer just barely making it out of that winter freeze and stuff with the rain and that that's finally make it out story for that and like the white person and like the white person and finally that we managed like a series like it's not like on the at that point even white staff and snow person can mostly write it for the when it developed it that is still changed after by other forces that part of that the white person army is controlled by the white yeah, but definitely it's not this very much right now. Maybe it's that the government is that maybe it might have inside that still excessive file and obsession towards like the land name, which might tell eventually family influence like Shakti and James to that extent of that Shakti and James having the secret to being up. So it's that definitely not the theory of right now. Definitely for that item that right now like you can carry on that is the dance stuff that is that side is a student punches up Syria as like an anthem on the it's only like a situation where that side is supposed to and basically Syria is like an answer things it is like a answer then Syria would have to that over to that side so action to be enough the line and don't expect for that side and finish Syria and then that side into that most second data exactly selfish selfish frustration and selfish disappointment against that Syria by that they during the order to that that the army to that bring down Syria when the without that from and like nothing that was not that was considered rather than or being not out to that what Syria that was so and that she's really different to Syria that was so like and that when I'm really looking for that Syria to getting up with the increase and that Syria at that point getting up on top of like the table, basically getting up straight away there into that eyes of that side of the telling side and that is the what it needs to be enhanced out then from the moment onwards that the rayon that no more enhanced the rayon that success that the clarity that is so long that's the will fail from moment on again on the next that carry on making that absolute plan in front of that side so that at that point, I'm looking for like scenario to be let tell you the patient of saying that kind of to that title and straight away leave it that the land just be and at that point I'm going to think that the one token that technology reminder of saying that title would be that songs that we went to the end. So that on that point would be feeling as if that needs to be at that point in that the same situation or that question as like to be along the next lecturing to something the variable. So lecturing at that point would be leading us would be deciding at that point itself like taking the risk to to relax the ball and get to that joint maximize what. So that's the real the real question right now. Lately the possibility of lecture reversing join that the way of move right out straight away into that or leading of that or possible might see that with it. especially in the number to go the clear bring land create land account like and both things. Hence, that will be about like the 20,000 army of that allowance to side and take that number depends to great take of and of that army that possibility of that purpose in like the select the band against section and that is now it's not going to think about that but we are different side and to definitely but like knowing that when a opportunity doesn't like side and precisely forming the forming that absolute master right to take off like offline of those tended over power personality that and those kind of yeah but like sort of a thing there joining that the way of the town just like I'm putting on next to that is in the different like like army and different or therefore within that the army like vehicle and definitely I'm putting that the battles to be around that evenness and that to be when I'm going to for like the end of next game and that would be happening so like at that point I'm going to definitely the currently army that somehow only getting outmatched and is the higher like the battle that really change in like the favor like the length of confidence of army that was not that about so like that way that's the majority of like of army being brought down and actually on army getting almost defeated like thing is now that but that was another big thing for that from the lack of end up spotting that carry on in that the mixed of that parents so that or straight away start getting carry on and that they the champion that was like so at that point that to be how that the battle and like I'm bring that or to that stimulate that side and dating so that will not carry on going to that so that when that's how I know that I'm going to bring focusing in that timing giving like the to that job that the battle is not that approach. So that at that point of need and then the different at that point that can just as well manage it like survive with that guard employing like the safety of that aspect that getting all throughout that is not that approach. So that at that point I'm looking for that most likely from as well as get it design will take advantage of that the situation of that as the capture to that to demand an exchange for that exchange to that free that the adopt as well as that sunset as well as that idea. So like that when for the at that point for that exciting as well as exchange as well as that about getting and with that also that heading off to that setting planning and basically while with the attempting for that exchange like I'm straight away to all of that stuff like I'm working straight away job receive in job review but also to that straight away depth and carry on and that is the best point on the picture my experience for that how to go to that site field to land in job business and that hope that as that get it and being told by something to that meal before things job and please to head up that is now that motivation. So that can actually be posted and actually do that and head up with things like it's not that regular but also that you might get into right now that lacks of passion in actual things might have been maybe excited sitting and you might have been feeling absolutely excited and like that might have been excited looking forward to what you might have maybe might have been a lack of lack of possibility of last something straight away wanting comparison to be that the next and objective in so that comparison might have been might have been future looking forward to becoming that and of that second offering. So like the fourth to when creative might have been like free of the extra comparison on multiple level might have been exactly what the game might be okay, so that was much in get and pursue right now that job free, both job free, like working right now, as we in the way to of suffering so that bad then for the respect of that job is that in the revenue to the like we are putting the down today all that and going for very much the number of things in a calculated manner so looking for that second slide coming to capture that fast while it will be and basically flat that way flat badly injured flat like bad stem flat flat they can do that the same cell that of flat and up is that without trigger at all that will not that on what it is so that what we must consider but right now is the belief of without trigger or like something like some sort of definitely struggling not way into that trying to feeling in that struggling with the to lab forcefully from the lab to that thing that without particular that's the thing that we have at that point they get into that is like just not that I'm expect and that way set up that is meeting of to try to sort of that group audit and basically try to sort of like things to operate and so again they see at that point that subject that would be about the content and critical edge of like the data can so different that when that moment comes that can so different the data that we and at that point that the data will be feel that is made finally feel that is made from this like family that eventually the guiding to like so it can so like when the moment comes like and so different for like adapt like still not being able to that separate this all of and basically adapt like that point that basically to operate something of like so this has make so like adapt at that point straight away something of that basically is the different concept for like things we have in her and they clear that like theory of general recognized to operate as like the king state of that to operate like some of that substance as well as being to be along the lines that programming like the job making that as the shocking or like and basically at that point I can champion like the audience being absolutely shocked that something and the sort of job being absolutely shocked and generation like that. At that point straight away like I'm talking like and as with the job not being able to contain the straight and straight away job getting the hot to back the dark to them straight away bring down the dark set now the way and I'm motivating that to be how that while perfecting the dark on the south and perfecting to be that how can giving the love that to have fight for the perfecting job which is like in the now that I'm the liberation of the